Hey, welcome back to Leading Edge. Good to have you along. 2022 will see Ohioans electing a governor. The incumbent, Mike DeWine, wants to keep his job. The mayors of Dayton and Cincinnati are among the Democrats who want DeWine removed, but so do a couple of Republicans, and one of them joins us right here on Leading Edge. Joe Blystone, my guest, a farmer, businessman down near Canal, Winchester. He raises animals to become meat, has a butcher shop, bakery, restaurant, an events center, got into an automotive related business. Mr. Blystone says he never set out to be a politician. In fact, Joe, I'm going to quote you. This comes from one of your videos. I detest politicians, he says. Mr. Blystone, welcome. I've had viewers up here asking me, when are you going to get Joe on? It's good to have you. So given your distaste for all things political, why did you get into this race?
Well, by gosh, if they'd be doing their jobs and working for the people, I wouldn't have went down this road. But obviously, for decades, we get a lot of promises, but these politicians never deliver. And as we've seen the past year and a half now, now we're fighting for our rights in this country, fighting for our rights in this state, and that just scares the heck out of me.
Let's get into that a little bit because you said that, and you and I, we've talked about this. I'm just meeting you now, but we're both people of faith. I believe God does talk to us in a variety of ways. You said God told you that you've got to save this state. And so, as the journalist, I'm going to ask you, well, what are you saving it from? And since Republicans run everything in Columbus, from the state house, both chambers, to the governor's mansion, one could argue that you're on a mission to save this state from your own party. So straighten that out from my viewers.
Well, and that's exactly right. We have a two-party system down there in Columbus, and that's just the right and the left wing of the same bird. It's a blurry line down there. I believe although I'm running on the GOP platform,
Yeah.
the GOP party needs dismantled and rebuilt. They're just as bad. At least we know what we're getting. The Democrats are right out there telling us what they're going to do and how they're going to steal our rights away.
Yeah.
The Republicans, they want to hide behind curtains and do the exact same thing.
Okay. When you say take our rights away, because on your one of your platforms is that we have lost rights. So what freedoms has the government taken away from Ohioans?
Right now, the biggest brush fire that we're dealing with is show me your papers. I mean, let's just go back to Nazi Germany. People are losing their
vaccination cards?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. People are losing their jobs today. I just received a notice, a private message, somebody saying, can you help me? A gal is going to lose her job. She's a healthcare worker because she's refusing to get a vaccine, and that's not how this country should run. It's not how it has run, but here we are overstepping our constitutional rights.
Now, the government, you say, and this is a quote, has no business telling Ohioans what is best for you and your family's health, end quote. Your legislature, let me stop. The legislature, because Joe's already distanced himself a lot from the establishment down there. The legislature is busy, though, doing just that, telling us what is best for our family's health. Mike DeWine, when you think about it, didn't really tell Ohioans what was best for their health. Public health experts, doctors, and epidemiologists did, and in being a leader, he shared the information with the public and is credited with saving thousands of lives. I mean, would you have not shared that information if you were governor, Joe?
Here's the problem. There was a narrative behind what he did, and the fact of the matter that the CDC came out and said, doctors, you cannot prescribe an off-label drug like hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin. That's never happened in history. And the hydroxychloroquine, that's a proven drug. It's been around for tens of decades in third world countries and is sold over the counter, but yet we cannot prescribe that for COVID in this state. and the fact that a doctor could write a prescription and then you could go to the pharmacy and the pharmacist looks at it and says, well, this drug, they've prescribed it for COVID, we're not going to fill this prescription. I mean, this is wrong. And and I blame our legislators. You know, they drag their feet. The HB 248 bill that should have been passed very easily, standing up for our individual health autonomy, no mandatory vaccines or vaccine passports. They couldn't even get 9 votes to get that bill out of health committee.
No. Hey, if government shouldn't tell Ohioans what to do with their health and their bodies, why is your party so hell-bent to outlaw abortion? And neither of us are fans of abortion, I get that, but why are they so driven to outlaw abortion even when a young lady has been raped, a victim of a crime, or a victim of incest?
Well, you know, I think that's too. Wait, you know, we're talking about, and this is what's pushed from the left. My body, my choice,
Right.
and that's the platform or the narrative that they always push when it comes to abortion. Well, it's not their body; it's another body, and somebody needs to stand up and fight for that little baby. Obviously, if the mother doesn't do it, somebody needs to. And the adage that, well, it's my body, my choice. Well, it's not, and it's proven that it's not.
You have said we're in a spiritual war. You've said God will provide the armor. And then I'm going to quote you, we can take over the country. And I'm sitting here listening, and I'm thinking, you call yourself a constitutional conservative, and there's something in that we can take over the country that to me bumps heads with our Constitution, which provides for certain, those inalienable rights they talk about for all of us: life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. I don't know that I want my country taken over by a sect or a portion, or am I not understanding your point of view, Joe?
Well, I guess I don't even think we're fighting R against D anymore. I think we're fighting godliness versus evilness. And we've allowed this to happen. Godly conservatives like you and I, we don't get involved in politics. We kind of sit on the sideline. At least myself, my involvement in politics has been, I go vote. I vote for the lesser of the two evils, and I hope there's a different outcome. Well, here we are. Our local school districts, the public school system, they're not even educating no more. They're indoctrinating our children, and this has been going on for decades. Not just this administration, and hence here we are today fighting against some of the communism that it's here. We have a foot down that path. Show me your papers. And if we want to get back to what this country was built on, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, we better get involved. And the two-party system is not working. And
that I totally agree with. Yep, it is.
Yeah, our government, they want to divide us. The old adage, divide and conquer. Well, they're doing it well, and they're doing it under the facade of things like racism. Let's draw a line right down the center of society, and let's just teach them hatred. And that all needs to stop. I don't care if you're red.
Okay, but who's okay? Well, I'm going to run short on time here. Because some would say that what is going on in the attack right now on our schools and telling teachers what they can teach and how they can teach it is a divisive thing. We do have racism in this country, and we need to stomp it out whenever possible. Gosh, it's obvious to me we're going to need to talk again, Mr. Blystone. I want to do this, though. I'm driving around in rural Wood County. I would expect to see your signs. I'm driving around Bowling Green, college town, and I'm seeing Blystone for governor signs. And that does get my attention. In just 3 months from the time you kicked off your campaign, you tell me you had representation in all 88 Ohio counties. And let's face it, in a primary where only a subset of voters turns out, anything can happen.
Yeah, that's right. We definitely have a movement going on all over this state, and God's leading the path. I'm just the tool here. And he's opening up doors, and yes, cities, metropolitan areas, doors that I wouldn't, I don't know anybody. I'm just a farmer walking off his farm in Canal Winchester. Who the heck did I know? I knew nobody.
Well, the fact
So
that you're getting some traction, I think, does underscore the fact there is a lot of just pent up right now frustration. I think there's pandemic fatigue. I think people are edgy. I'm hearing from school administrators that kids are behavioral problems like they've never seen before. And that, let's face it, that stems from the home too. Our kids are products of their
that's
parents.
right.
So, hey, Joe, I'm going to leave it right there. It is. Thank you for taking the time. He's Joe Blystone. He's running on the Republican side for governor. He's a farmer from down near Canal Winchester. And I'm telling you, he is getting some traction. And I'm guessing we'll be talking again between now and the May primary. The days are coming quickly on us. Good to meet you, sir.
Hey, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Best to you, Joe. And I'll be right back, folks.